We're going to take you to Oktoberfest. Not, as I like to say, not Oktoberfest. This is the real thing. This is the biggest party in the world, the biggest beer festival in the world. I had the pleasure of going this year. It's a 17-day event in Munich, and I'm not a big beer drinker, so it was actually really interesting, and you'll see how my journey progresses. This is Weiss. This is where Oktoberfest is held. It's about 104 acres. This is just one view of it. It is massive. 7 million people from around the world attend this event. You can see the masses in the beginning and out in the middle, and then they are filled in these buildings to the side. This is the iconic statue that you see that kind of ties to Oktoberfest. The field is called Weiss, and in English that is Theresa's meadow. And that was named for King Ludwig's crown princess. They had their wedding there. It eventually kind of turned into Oktoberfest. Closer view of the famous statue, and you can actually, if you spend a few euros, can climb to the top of it, and you can peer out the headpiece over Oktoberfest. So it's quite a unique view. Here it is. And this gentleman right here was a quite intoxicated German fellow. We saw a lot of intoxicated people here. They handled it well, but those beers are really big. And I can tell you they drank at this festival 1.75 million gallons of beer. It is 30% of Munich's entire beer production for the year. So, and this is where it happens. That right there, the big pillar, is a beer tent. There are well over a dozen of these tents in the festival. They're easy to spot because you see the people pouring out of them. You hear a lot of music pouring out of them. And each one is decorated with the kind of beer that you get inside. That's me standing in front of the Hofbrauhaus. This is the Hofbrauhaus tent. The Hofbrauhaus is the most famous beer house in Munich. And I wanted to show you that they have a tent there, but I highly recommend, if you ever go, to actually going to the Hofbrauhaus itself. It's quite an experience, quite a fun time. This is the inside of one of those beer tents. It's the size of a football field, and then you've got to think there are 13 to 14 of these, filled to the brim with people from all over the countryside of Germany. Very little English is spoken inside here. You really need to have some German phrases handy, as can I have a table, can I have a reservation. Every one of these tents has a band in the center, and these bands play all of the traditional German music. It's fabulous, and you see a lot of people rocking back and forth with their beers and dancing. And they love John Denver here. I can't tell you how many times I heard Country Road, and they sing it in English, and none of them speak English. I mean, the English in these tents was not heard that often. I mean, you go elsewhere in Munich and you would hear English, but not in these tents. And here's another view. You can see the decorations are amazing. They're packed by 3 o'clock, and you can't get a seat. You have to make a reservation, which if you ever go to Munich, you can make a reservation online. It opens at 10 in the morning. So we got there at 10 in the morning. You can pick your spot, and people camp out all day. All day. It's a fabulous time. They have menus. They do have a menu that's a smaller version, slightly in English. It's slightly, I say, because not all of it I could understand. But they said, this is the English menu. And, if you make a reservation, this is the kind of setup you get at night. They clear it out, and then people come with their reservations, and they put out all of their best meats and cheeses, and Bavarian food, as I like to say, is very manly, very meaty, lots of mustard on everything. They eat 400,000 sausages during this festival. That is one sausage every 2 seconds. So they eat a lot of sausages here. It is quite an experience. I want to talk about traditions. This is a unique tradition I didn't know about until we got here. Those are gingerbread hearts. I'll butcher this word, but it's Lebuchherz. I think I'm saying that right. It's a string necklace that you wear on your neck, and you give to your sweetheart. And they say phrases on them like, I love you, I like you a lot, I really like you. And people wore them everywhere. And men, women, they would walk around. And my big question when I was over there was, can I bring this back to America on the plane with all our security? Is this food? And yes, you can. I brought a couple back. I haven't eaten them yet, but I have them. I kind of want to keep them how they are. They're really pretty. the outfits. This is an actual display window. Yes, they are drinking beer in the display window. These are people selling the outfits. The men they were everywhere. They wore the lederhosen, they wore the leather pants. It was very hot, and they would wear these things, and they were selling them everywhere. This is a close-up of one of the traditional women's outfits. The young ladies over there loved them. They were very, very popular. You would see people standing at bus stops and train stations waiting to go to Oktoberfest from all over Germany. And these run for about 99 euros to 150 euros. So it was quite pricey. The euro is obviously doing a lot better than the dollar over there, even though the euro is not doing that well. It was still quite a difference. This is at night. The event goes to about 11 o'clock at night, and then they pour out of there and they fill up their restaurants and their bars at night. So they're not done. But if you ever get a chance to go, this is a view of Munich. And there's so much more to do in Munich besides Oktoberfest. It's an absolutely gorgeous city. Many great restaurants. There's some great Italian restaurants over there because some of the Italians pour into Germany and open these great restaurants. It was really interesting. Great views, fun city, wonderful historic churches, lots of places to go. And I'm not a big beer drinker, but this city won me over. Prost is the cheers over there. And I will suggest the one beer they have over there that's really interesting is half beer, half lemonade, and it's fabulous. It's a mixture of both. And I'm not a beer drinker, and I kind of liked that. So.